Before going to the most important part of the presentation, that is the product development, I'd like to share with you and put everyone in the same page of some highlights in the Brazilian markets. The Brazilian economy offers to the financial capital markets a very fertile fields. So it's very diversified. So if you look at what we offer at the exchange, we cover a big range of agribusiness contracts, interest rate contracts, foreign exchange, equity markets. So it's quite diversified. And in Brazil, we have a very interesting situation that over 80% of the derivative markets go through the exchange. So it's a very heavy ETD market. We have a very well-known two single stock options contracts in the market, that is Petrobras and Vale, that we're going to see during the presentation what we've done with these two important single stock options markets. And we have the second most liquid interest rate futures contract, that is our DI contract. And we just developed another interest rate contract to deconcentrate. Then at this chart, when you look at the equity volumes, I'd like to point out that 40% of these equity volumes in Brazil comes from foreign investors. And in the derivatives, over 26% comes from the foreign investors. And this number is been growing during the last 10 years very steadily. And where this money is coming from, where we've been managing to be successful in attracting investors to Brazil. First of all, we have 3 international offices, one in London, one in Shanghai, and one in New York. The new one is the London office where I'm based. And during the last 15 years, it's been very easy to notice how Europe is playing a very important role as a hub of channeling investors to Brazil. And in 2012, we are ahead of the US in the equity market with $700 billion with the ME region. And then the US, they managed to get over $500 billion. So this message, I'm going to reiterate this. Many investors from the European markets and from Middle East that they were not investing in Brazil during the last 5 years, now they started to allocate assets to Brazil. And we are very happy with these results. And I'd like to name in the EMEA the countries that we've been outsourcing and leveraging this money is, of course, UK, France, Norway, Sweden, Ireland, Netherlands, Luxembourg, and Saudi Arabia. Namely, if you look at Ireland and Luxembourg, because of the heavy fund industry, so we are managing to get lots of traction in these two countries. Latin America, we have our neighbor countries, and we, as one of the, let's say, the substantial market in the region, we are trying to cooperate with them. I'm going to go deep in this subject a bit further. So now talking about products, what I brought today to show you about new products development. As I told you, Petrobras and Vale during the last 20 years was the most important security in Brazil. So we realized that we need to do something to deconcentrate from Petrobras and Vale. So we started a very sophisticated market making program. So we elected 10 securities, between them BM&F Bovespa, Bradesco, Itaú, Group X, and Usiminas. So we designed this market-making program, and we managed. It started in 2011, so you can see that the concentration of 88% in Petrobras now in Vale reduced to 75% of the volumes. So we hope during the course of 2013 and 14, where we are going to renew the market-making programs, we are going to develop more market-making programs, we are going to be more effective in these efforts. And then you can see the volume as well. Despite the fact we had a reduction in the concentration, but there are much more results in the volumes that we had in the options market. The second product development that is being proved very successful for us, I get amazed when I look at the European markets, American market, the number of ETFs that you have in these markets. In Brazil, until 2011, we had only 3 ETFs, just 3. So in the beginning of 2011, we put in place a big project, and now we have 15 different ETFs, mostly in options, in flexible options and forwards, and the volumes are growing steadily. We believe that we have to continue working on the ETF markets, especially because there are much more areas to be explored in these regards. The third product that is being proved another profit-making for us, it's the securities lending. It's natural. If you see more allocation to the Brazilian equity market, naturally you can create more business in the securities lending business. But in Brazil, we have something very peculiar, it's our characteristic, that has been there since we started the securities lending in Brazil, is that we use the CCP structure. This is something that in the European market you're going to start using now. We've been working in the securities lending with the CCP since we started in '96. It gives such a transparency for the system. It gives, in terms of risk management, collateral management, it gives comfort for the lender and for the borrower, facilitating the flow of business. So we've been working through the 3 offices, London, Shanghai, and New York, going on the road. I've done a road show in Ireland, another one in Luxembourg, explaining how the securities lending business works in Brazil. And we are seeing the volume is growing steadily on a pace of 20% a year. This year, we hope we have another 10 or 15% growth in the securities lending. The fourth new product, but this is just started. We call Brazil is Investing. Brazil is Investing is a big ambition that we have, where all the investors, can be a private individual, can be an institutional investor, they will have the codes for the securities from the Brazilian securities in their local currency. So if you look at this graph, where you have a Brazilian broker connected to the BM&F Bovespa infrastructure, an FX broker and an offshore broker, we start to accept certification of all these potential players to get on board in this project. Can be a global bank with positions in Asia, in Middle East, in Africa, where their local clients, they will quote Petrobras, Vale, all BM&F Bovespa shares in their local currency. They push the button, they have their account open with their bank, they have their local foreign investor account open in Brazil, and they can execute the trade without any worry about the FX, any worry about the execution. So for us, it will be a big achievement. We are working, we are very focused in having this ready until the end of next year. So I just showed you the main products that we've been developing. But now, this is not a product, but this is a way to outsource or to generate more products that are the partnerships we have. In adapting the strategy of having partnerships, it gives us such a boost to identify new opportunities, to identify new markets to be explored, to cooperate with different markets. So the first one that I mentioned early in the morning, that is our partnership with CME Group. But there is a very tied up relationship, because we have the 5% mutual active ownership. But what we are getting out of this relationship, first, is the state-of-art multi-asset class trading system, Puma, that is being developed in-house, and they have around 500 people from IT working on this. We have more 200 from our side. And we've been through different phases. The phase that we are going to put live now will be the equity markets. And until the end of the year, we will have the fixed income live as well. We have the order routing and the cross-listing system, that from north to south, south to north, we're starting to see a big traction of institutional players using the system. And as a result, as much product we put in the system cross-listing, it will be beneficial for both of us. So as I told you, in generating products, we've listed in Brazil the soybeans mini contract from CME. They listed our Bovespa in US dollar. We are listing the S&P 500 in Brazil. So institutional investors in Brazil, they are trading S&P 500 in local currency, in reais. And at the moment, we are considering the WTI from CME listing in Brazil as well. So it's very fertile in having these partnerships. The second one, that's the well-known BRICS Smart. We signed last year in Johannesburg. So we have all the BRICS, the main exchanges involved, is being developed. We hope by the end of this year as well, we have something in place in the market to have more volumes available. And again, in having this partnership with the BRICS Stock Exchange, it will give us opportunity to discuss other products, to discuss where we can cooperate more, either inside the BRICS project or with our partners, with counterpart, with the other exchanges. In Asia, specifically China, we have the partnership with the Shanghai and Shenzhen Exchange, that we have people from our products department posted to China. They had some people of them based in Brazil. So we were totally under a total disclosure in a memorandum of understanding, discussing where we can cooperate, where can we see more volumes from these two markets. And in Latin America, that is our neighbor countries, we just announced a couple of days ago the results of the work we are doing with the Bolsa Comercio Santiago, where we cooperated with Chile in developing the derivatives market. We have open conversation with Colombia and other markets to do the same, to replicate, not necessarily just derivatives, but again, where we see the potential to develop new products and take advantage of all the solutions, all the results, the successful results that we had in Brazil, transferring for our neighbor countries. Because we have the concept that if we manage to exchange positive results with the other markets around us in Latin America, it will bring a very, very sophisticated market for the continent and a more robustness that we have in Brazil to the other countries as well. So this is our experience in product development and more in partnerships. Thank you.